It's a lullaby, and it's saying that the fox came up to the gate, and the mom went out there and told the wolf, um, the fox, my bad, Lup flamand cu trei cojoace, come over here and I'll teach you a lesson. A venit un lup din crâng și alerga prin sat să fure și să ducă în pădure pe copii care plâng. Și-a venit la noi la poartă și-am ieșit conuia. Lup flămând cu trei cojoace, hai la maica să te joace. Eu chemam pe lup încoace, el fugea cotro veda.
Guys, I've got a question that I am really itching to ask you. What was it like coming to America at the age of 18? Each of you came at the age of 18, one after the other.
Um, I for me it wasn't too different, I guess, since we had come over a few times. But I think when we came back when I was like 15 or 14, I was younger. It was just it was so amazing because you arrive in America and there's so many cars, so many nice houses. It's so clean everywhere. Overseas, there's so much litter everywhere and stuff. In the cities, trash everywhere. Um, it was just really amazing because in America you don't really see a whole lot of poor people. I mean, you might see a homeless person here and there on the street, maybe, but over there, you're always seeing people digging through the dumpsters. There's trash all over, huge apartment buildings. I mean, I guess you could kind of compare it to some American ghettos, but it was just really amazing because you come in America and whole neighborhoods are all so clean, and it almost seems like everyone is so rich in America.
Mateo, what was it like for you to start out probably what you would consider a new life?
It was rough.
I mean, you came by yourself and you went to college.
Yeah, I left home, had a 150-pound bag, a carry-on, and a guitar. That was everything I owned. And left pretty much everything I knew. Although it wasn't really that big of a deal since we moved around so much. The last place I lived in Bulgaria, I'd only been there for about a year and a half, I'd say. So you learn to um, make you don't really get that attached. It doesn't really affect you. But left there, came to the States, and yes, everything was different. At first, I didn't like it. Now, I couldn't go back. I came back to go to the States, tried to take nursing, go in the medical field. I can't tell you how many doctors there have gone to school for how many years, and they have a $500 car. So I like coming back to the States. There's a lot of things that you had to get used to. Probably one of the biggest things that you talk to anybody when they come back to the States is seeing grass. You never see that there. It's too expensive. Why would somebody want to grade their field out instead of having a garden and buy grass seed and have to water it and cut it, and we by daily have to do maintenance on grass. What's it good for? Nothing. It's not good for anything. But it is pretty, so you come back to America and you see all this grass. That's probably the biggest thing that you notice.
You can, when you get off the plane and start driving, you can smell people's lawns, like the the grass has been cut, and you realize it when you first come back to America from over there. Oh wow, I can smell that people cut their lawns and they have grass here.
Yeah, one of the first things you want to do is you get to wherever you're staying and there'll be a lawn out there and you'll like take your shoes off and like go play out in the grass.
You mean to feel it under your feet still is a remarkable thing for you, or it was?
Not now, because of course you get used to everything, but it's just over there. I played soccer on concrete.
Concrete.
On concrete, which is funny. That's one reason why Americans, I don't think, are so good at soccer. They have grass and they slip and slide around everywhere. There you play on concrete. You don't fall. Because if you do fall, then you're going to get hurt. Oh, I'll tell you a funny thing. The school I went to, their soccer field, they had a soccer field. Their soccer field was concrete. Every soccer field was concrete. I never played on a soccer field. The first time I ever really wore cleats and played in a soccer game was when I came to the States to go to college, and I put on. My dad had bought us cleats, but we never used them. You couldn't. It was hard to use them on concrete because you'd slip around more. So that was the first time I'd ever really used cleats on grass. Was when I came back to the States and went to college, and I don't know, it was just wow. Like I can fall down, it won't hurt, nothing like that. That just any sport you were gonna play on concrete, especially soccer.
Did people not try to knock each other down because they didn't want them to fall, and be hurt on the concrete?
If you just you had to learn how to play very clean and not to fall. Watch your every step. If there was some little rocks you could slide on, you learn to really play real fast and clean. And for example, like when you try to steal a ball from someone, if you trip them and they fell on the ground, they would beat you up. They'd beat you up because so you learn to play clean and don't trip them. So when I first came to America, I was playing soccer with my cousins, and they were wearing shin guards. I was like, "What are you wearing shin guards for?" It's like, "Well, so we don't kick each other and hurt." And I started playing with them, and they kicked me in the shin. Oh, I got so mad. I was like, "Why are you kicking me in the shin? Don't you know how to play soccer?" So they all play so clean over there, and once you get to a certain age, you can steal a ball without touching them and everything, and so everyone over there plays soccer really clean. And when you come back to America and everyone acts like soccer is like American football or something, like it's just a rough sport. It's not a really rough sport. It's just how you play it, how skilled you are at playing clean. And
Wow, that is fascinating. You've lived in a lot of different villages, cities, in other countries. Can you say that you love two countries?
personally, I'm not sure how everyone else feels, but every place I lived, Romania, Constanza, and Bulgaria, Varna, and all the different places I lived, and then coming to America and living in different states. At the same time, I miss every place I've been, even though I still love America. I would love to be in Bulgaria right now. I'd love to be in Romania. Certain places where growing up as a kid, I remember friends. I'd love to be there right now, too. So it's I can't say that I just love one particular country or anything because I miss it all. I miss all the countries.
You don't see a need to forsake another place to be an American.
Oh, definitely not. I'd love to go back there.
Um, yes, I miss Romania probably more than Bulgaria. But really, I think when you ask somebody, because it doesn't have to be with a different country, it can be with a different homestead. Really, what you're really missing is the memories that were created at that in that country, at that house, in that apartment, wherever you were at that point in time. And really, that's what you're missing. You're missing the memories that were created at that place. So, of course, when I think of different times in Romania, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I miss Romania. But really, what I'm thinking about things that have happened to me there, my friends, people who I miss. That's really what you miss. You miss the created memories while you were there.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's true. That's very true.
Do you feel like an American? Of course, now this is kind of a trick question because most Americans don't know much about other countries. Most Americans certainly don't know other languages except what they study in school. And most Americans who do travel, and of course most Americans do travel overseas or out of the country, at least some, but they almost always go to tourist traps or military bases. So if I asked them this question, it would be completely different. Do you feel like an American? Well, of course I'm an American. But when you've been other places, and I have been plenty of other places, you build a collection, and it changes how you think of yourself. But it doesn't mean you're not patriotic. Do you feel like an American?
Uh, it's kind of hard to say. At certain times, I don't feel like I belong to any country. I mean, I feel like I have a little place. I mean, I definitely am patriotic and love American stuff, but at the same time, it's not like I can say, oh, my home is definitely in America or definitely in Bulgaria or Romania. I'm almost pulled in different directions.
This is hard for um, Americans to understand usually. Because they would think, oh no, you are one or the other. But they don't understand that.
It doesn't matter if you have an American passport. Um, you could you could have an American passport and grow up all your life in another country and still be just as patriotic about being American, but you still have normally a place in your heart for that country and the people.
And what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with
What's wrong with having a place in your heart for more than one place and more than one group of people?
There's nothing wrong with it, which is funny. Do I feel like an American? Yeah, I do feel like an American. Why? Because I've lived here now going on 5 years. But it's funny, when I lived in Romania, I was considered Romanian. I'd meet somebody on the road and they'd talk to me or whatever, and conversation would come up, where are you from, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm American. No, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. Because I'm like more dark skinned. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're Romanian. And when I came back to the States, of course, I criticized a lot of the stuff that Americans did. Oh, they don't do it right because this and that. They don't do this right. And, America is such fast pace. Nobody cares about anything. You got fast food. Everything in America is fast, 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 fast. You even go out to eat, sit down. And if your food's not there in 20 minutes, then you get mad. Where, everything else, or everything, well, not everything, but where I lived in Romania or Bulgaria, everything was more slowed down. Everybody wasn't in such a hurry to retire, like they are here. You go to school, you go to college, so you get a good job, so you can get a good job, so you can retire. I mean, and then what, But when I was in Bulgaria, I never really considered myself Bulgarian. But when I was in Romania, I kind of considered myself Romanian. And then I was in the States, and after a few years, then I became more of even though I was a United States citizen and full-blooded American, it still took me a few years to mentally be able to say, yeah, I'm a full-blooded American, this is my country.
Mult e dulce și frumoasă limba cea vorbim, altă limbă armonioasă ca ea nu găsim. Saltă inima-mi plăcere când o ascultăm și pe buze aduce miere când o cuvântăm. Românesc o iubesc ca sufletul său, Cântă, scrie românește pentru Dumnezeu.